was like, wait a minute. In the book of Judges, the Israelites were always slaves until God always raised a judge who came to their rescue. So this one made me excited, and I was like, wow, the children of Israel always did high status jobs. You know, they were always the people in the army or did some type of work in the palace. And it just rose an anger in me. I was like, enough is enough. The enemy has oppressed me. I've become a slave to him for a long time. And how have I been a slave to him? Slave to fear, slave to deception. And now Jesus is here saying in Luke 10:18 verse 19, I saw Satan falling down like lightning, and I've given you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions over all the power of the enemy, that nothing shall by any means hurt or harm us. Why didn't Jesus say all the power of the enemy? He was very specific. The serpent and the scorpion. The serpent is like the serpent we saw in the book of Genesis. You know, with the lust of the eyes, lust of flesh, and the pride of life. Did the Lord really say? You know, causing us to doubt what God said. And then secondly, scorpions. Scorpions sting. And this is really an example of offenses. The way somebody looked, the way people say, because you know the loved ones will always throw words that are like piercing of the sword. You know, the closest people to you. And so if we are not careful, those offenses can sting. And if it's not, ruled over like God told Cain, you must rule over it. Then we become deceived. We live in a lie. We become slave to offenses, slave to deceit. But Jesus said we have power. And one thing I've noticed, the enemy has no power. Because the Bible says he's the master of deception. That's the only thing he has power. Otherwise, if we have Christ in us, then we have the mind of Christ. We are more wiser than the serpent. And he's such a fake, he rose like the lion, but he's not a lion. And if we are seated with Jesus and the enemy is under his feet, then the enemy is under our feet. Be encouraged.